Today we're going to look at constructing scatter plots. Scatter plots can be used to examine data and to look at trends in that data. To construct them, all we need is each of the data points. So when you look at the graph you're given, in this case you've been given a graph of speed over time, or speed over fuel used. So each data point will measure the speed, in this case of a car traveling in kilometers per hour, versus the amount of fuel that was used in that journey. So the engineer is studying the fuel usage of collected data on the speed of a car traveled and how much fuel it used. And here's each of the data points that you're being given in your table. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to plot each of those data points, and then we hopefully should be able to see a trend in that data. So if we take a look at each of these one by one. So this first one here, speed of 10 and fuel used is 21 liters, so speed of 10 and 21 liters. We can plot a data point right here. Okay. The second one here, we have a speed of 30 miles per hour or kilometers per hour and 10 liters used. And so on from there. So 50 miles per hour is 7 liters used. 70 miles per hour is 6 liters used. 90 kilometers per hour is 8 liters used. And 110 kilometers per hour is 9 liters used. So what we see here is we see a trend that it's a non-linear trend. We'll learn about that later on, but we can see that the slower you go, the more fuel you're using initially, but as you get to a point where there's a less amount of fuel, a low amount of fuel that's used, and then it goes up again in terms of the amount of fuel that you use. So all we're doing right now is constructing the scatter plots from the data given. Okay. Let's take a look at a few more, and I think this should be pretty straightforward for you to work on in your own time. So number of sick days and the number of t-shirts he owned over several years. There's probably no relation between these two, but the number of sick days and the number of t-shirts he took. So looking at the data here, sick days and t-shirts. So all we've got to do is plot each of them. The 6, and that's actually a 6 and 6. So of course, after you've plotted it, you can move it around. Just be careful with that. T-shirts 7 and sick days 7.5. So we've got 7 and 7.5. There's going to be one right there. 0.5 sick days to 7 t-shirts, so 0.5 sick days to 7 t-shirts. 3 sick days, also 7 t-shirts. 4 sick days, he's got 5 t-shirts, and 6 sick days, or 6 t-shirts, sorry, 9.5 sick days, and 6 t-shirts. So there's not really a correlation between the number of sick days and the number of t-shirts he has. It looks like most of the time he has 7 t-shirts, but there you have it. All we're doing again is just plotting this data. We'll look later on at how we can examine it for trends. Okay, give that a shot for yourself. Let me know if you've got any questions.